Here we are. We're back, everyone. At least I hope we are. Welcome once again. We are once again live, I hope, from England. I really hope. And I hope you are now joining us here as well.
Well, Mr. Duncan,
are we on?
I'm not sure. It'd be very nice if people could tell us if we were back on. Mr. Duncan, technical issues again, not our fault.
No, I think
absolutely not our fault. It's YouTube's fault.
It really is very strange how there's so much I want to explain, you see, but it would take far too long to explain it. But let's just say YouTube made lots of changes about 2 months ago to their whole system. So it is completely new. It's different. But the only problem is it doesn't work very well.
Yeah. You know what it's like when people update your systems at work and they're never as good.
No.
It's like if you've got an Apple device, they're always updating them and then they never work so well afterwards.
That's it. Or any device.
Or any device. And this is the same. Obviously, they've got some technical issues and they don't know how to fix them. And that's affecting Mr. Duncan.
Well, it just doesn't work from day to day. There's always some technical issue with YouTube, including their analytics. So they have analytics where you can look at the performance of your videos in your channel. And even that doesn't work properly. And they've updated that completely. They've rebuilt it 100%. It's now brand new. And the same thing has happened with their live streaming. But the only problem is it's all crap. It's a load of rubbish.
Yes. But people seem to be back, so it's lovely to see you all. And please don't blame Mr. Duncan. It's not Mr. Duncan's fault. There was nothing wrong with our internet at all. That was working perfectly all right. It's YouTube. So please send your complaints to YouTube.
So we are on now.
Yes, and unfortunately you can't even communicate with them, can you, to say, look, there's a problem with this, because there's no one to talk to.
Well, you can write to them, but whether you get a reply from a human being or just a robot is another thing altogether. Anyway,
we're back.
Yes.
And we've got a packed programme for whoever is still left watching us.
A packed programme? I can't even remember what we're doing today or what we're supposed to be doing, to be honest. Everything has gone... There we go. I think that's better now. I'm just doing resetting some things.
Thank you, Valerio. A lot of people were saying before it went wrong how they liked your lights.
Yes.
So I don't know. Have you been showing a video, Mr. Duncan, of your lights that you put up?
I did. I showed a video earlier on. We might show it again in a moment. just so I can have a nervous breakdown on the floor.
Yes, we've got to go easy on Mr. Duncan, because it's very stressful for him setting up these live streams. Yes. And then they go wrong. Well, so it's not very nice.
That's it. Well, it's technical things. It's always the same problem. It's always the same thing. Technical problems. So don't forget, many YouTube channels have about 10 or 15 people working on it. Here, it's just me. One person. So that's the thing you have to remember when you look at these big YouTube channels. They normally have lots and lots of people behind the scenes working to make sure it's all right. But here, it's just me, you see. It's just me. I do all the technical stuff on my own.
And we're going to show one day. We're going to make a video and we're going to show you exactly what Mr. Duncan has to do to get ready for setting up a live stream. Yes. I think that would be very interesting, because I think you might get an idea of what is required in order to set it up. It's not just a case of switching your camera on and saying hello. There's quite a lot of technical issues and technical things going on in the background that we'll show you one day, won't we? Maybe we'll make it over Christmas.
Yes, I think these days it's less effort to send a rocket into space than it is to actually do this live stream.
Theo says, "We love you no matter how terrible the connection is." Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
And Nisa likes my T-shirt, so thank you very much.
But he does wear this every week, except next week, of course. We are going to get into the Christmas mood next week, Steve.
Are we?
I think we will show maybe we will wear some red clothing and perhaps a little bit of sort of festive tinsel as well. So we will see what happens.
We've got Santa hats, we've got tinsel. We're going to be putting the Christmas tree up at some point,
yes,
aren't we, Mr. Duncan?
We haven't done that yet.
We haven't done that yet, no, because a lot of people, because of the lockdowns and all sorts of things going on with coronavirus, a lot of people have been putting their Christmas decorations up earlier to try and cheer themselves up.
Yes.
So normally people don't put up their Christmas trees or their tinsel or their lights until 2 weeks before Christmas, I would say. But most people have been putting them up from the 1st of December.
That's it.
Because particularly if you're at home on your own,
okay,
which a lot of people are, work colleagues, forced to work from home, maybe they don't have a partner, they want to cheer themselves up. And I've noticed a lot of my work colleagues have been put all their Christmas decorations up a lot earlier, lights, tinsel, because they said it's just cheering them up from the gloom of lockdown.
Yes, and also the gloom of Mr. Steve talking about it.
No, I'm just saying what.
So if you've come here to escape the doom and gloom, I'm sorry, we've just reminded you of it.
Oh no, we're going to look on the lighter side. I saw something very interesting today on the internet, Mr. Duncan.
I know what's coming. By the way, if you want doom and gloom,
no, it's not doom. This is not doom and gloom.
It is doom and gloom.
Not doom and gloom, Mr. Duncan.
It depressed me.
It's talking about doom and gloom, but it's not doom and gloom.
Yes, but when you mentioned it to me this morning, I felt like jumping out of the window. It was very depressing.
Anyway, fake beards. No need for fake beards, says Jimmy from Hong Kong. For Mr. Duncan.
I'm really not sure. I'm not sure what colour this beard is now. It sort of seems to be it's all different colours.
You're right, Nisa, you're right. No, don't look. It's just between me and Nisa. No need for you to look. But yes, no, just very quickly, I thought it was funny, interesting.
Okay.
Because there's a group of people.
A group of people who?
There are people who call themselves preppers. Preppers. Preppers.
Preppers.
Preppers. Which is derived from the word preparation, or prep for short. They call themselves preppers, and there's a lot of them in America, but I've been reading today, there's a lot in the UK now as well.
Okay.
These are people who you could call them survivalists. They're people who always think there's going to be a catastrophe coming at some point.
That sounds like you.
I'm a bit like that at times.
Mr. Steve, I think Mr. Steve is a catastrophist.
So these are people who, there's going to be an asteroid going to strike the Earth, or there's going to be world war, or robots are going to take over, or something's going to happen, some catastrophe.
There are people.
Nuclear winter.
Wait there, Steve. There are people at the moment on this planet, human beings, who believe that robots are going to take over the planet.
They will. That is one thing I do believe. But anyway, there are people that think like this, and they prepare, call themselves preppers. They build bunkers under the ground. They get all these different things that you would normally need for survival for weeks out in the open. They will buy food for, say, 6 months and store it away. Water purifying tablets, special knives for skinning animals and cutting down trees.
Sorry, if you're underground in a bunker, where are the animals?
Well, I presume you've got them stored somewhere. But no, there's even websites where you can go and buy these survivalist kits. But you've probably seen in America, we've seen programs about it. People build bunkers, big bunkers under the ground in case a catastrophe happens, and they've got lots of food stored in there. Well, anyway, what I was reading today was in the UK, because we've got this threat of Brexit, and no deal and all that. People are watching in France and on the continent here. We're so scared, a lot of us in this country, that we're storing up food because we think there's going to be huge delays in food coming across the channel and things like that. And apparently it's becoming quite a thing, Mr. Duncan. So, I think we ought to, I think I'm a prepper. I think I need to become a prepper and store things, Mr. Duncan, so that we're safe and we can continue to do live streams. But then without electricity, what would we do when all the lights go out? Because all the power stations shut down. Because there's no coal for the power stations, Mr. Duncan. What are we going to do?
God, mighty.
Oh, I
can't quite cope with this energy today from you.
But anyway, has anybody heard of this? Preppers or survivalists? Yes. People that maybe you are one and I can join your group. I have a big amount of food in my house, says Nasumo. I call them wackos, says Tomek. Yeah, I thought you would.
Me too.
Be positive, Christmas is coming, says Christina.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
I had all sorts of lovely things today. I was going to have twinkling lights and lots of lovely snow scenes, but instead we've got Mr. Steve talking about the end of the world.
I'm all right, Mr. Duncan. I'm fine. It's all right, don't worry. Calm down. Christmas lights. Everything's all right, Mr. Duncan. We're fine. I'm only joking. I'm just joking, Mr. Duncan.
Can I just say that this...
I'm trying to be cheerful because everything's gone wrong on the live stream and I'm trying to stay cheerful.
But this isn't cheerfulness.
I've got a bit faint.
This is sort of insanity.
I think I'm hyperventilating. I've gone all dizzy, Mr. Duncan.
You're not the only one.
Well, what are we talking about in the last 5 minutes of this show? No, we're joking. We're on for longer than that.
I don't know what the joke was. What are you on about? What's joking?
Well, because it's 3:30. Are we going on till 4:30 today? Should we give people some kind of estimate? Some people think that the world was going to end in 2000. They did, and it didn't.
There's always some nutcase, normally religious. There's always some religious nutcase who says that they know exactly when the world is going to end, and then they prepare for it, and then it doesn't happen, and then they have to sort of explain why it didn't happen. Sorry, God changed his mind.
Sergio says that you've grown a beard of apocalypses. Oh yes, everything's fine. Everything's fine. We don't need to. Well, I just thought it was quite hilarious because I went on this website and you can buy these kits, £300 survivalist kits. I mean, blimey, it's got everything in it, knives and right. Change the subject, Mr. Duncan. Happy lights, Christmas lights.
You seem obsessed with the knife part.
I know. Well, I mean, it was
sort
of camping. It basically just.
Do you realise? But do you realise what you've just said to me? People are in a bunker, so they're underground in a large room with loads of animals that they can eat at any time. But what about all of the poop from the animals?
Well, you recycle it all.
But how? You
have to recycle your poop.
But you're underground.
Well, you feed it into a machine and it ferments and generates gas. And then you can heat your bunker with all that gas, cook your food.
But what about the smell?
I don't know. I suppose you have to put up with it.
So you're going to live underground with yourself, your family, maybe 4 or 5 wild animals that will be pooping all the time. It's going to be hell. I think I would rather take my chances with the outside world, to be honest.
Nisa, who, by the way, said I've got a lovely T-shirt on, just to remind you, has said that he's going to eat... Oh, no, yesterday he ate his favourite dish, aloo gobi.
Ooh.
Yes, we like that. It's sort of potatoes, isn't it? And I think it's potatoes and broccoli, isn't it? No, what's that one we had? The cauliflower, potatoes and cauliflower, sort of spicy. I always have that when I go to an Indian restaurant. I like it as a starter. So yes, well maybe you can cook it for me when I come over to visit you. Nisa, and I'll bring you this jumper. I'll wear this especially for you. I've gone a bit mad, Mr. Duncan. I've gone all mad. You'll have to calm me down, Mr. Duncan. What are we talking about today?
I can't remember anything. I'm standing here just thinking, what? Are you okay?
I'm fine. I told you I'm fine. I'm just excited to be here on the live stream with all your wonderful viewers. I think it was Nisa saying that's what cheered me up, saying I got a lovely T-shirt on. That's what's done it for me.
Okay.
I'll go and lie down. I'll go and lie down in a darkened room later.
Yes. Or in a padded cell.
Padded cell, yes.
Okay. Some very what a strange energy.
Bunkers, says Anna. I've never heard of them since to the 80s, yes, because people then thought there was going to be nuclear war and they built bunkers in their garden. Well, now they're doing it again, so we're not. Cauliflowers, healthy food, yes. What is the point if you are the only one surviving on the earth? Exactly.
Yeah.
Why bother?
What is the point? And how long do you expect to live underground for? Underground. Yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do, by the way. It's hard enough living above the ground. Never mind under the ground.
People who talk about sort of doom and gloom all the time, there are some people that they call them nihilists.
Yes, I think
nihilists.
Steve is a bit doom and gloom.
Nihilists, but people that think there's no point to life. How depressing is that? How depressing is that? Well, there's a great point to our lives, Mr. Duncan, because you particularly are teaching English to the world.
No, nihilists don't think there's no point to life. They just assume that everything will end in some sort of catastrophe one day.
Yes, but anyway, let's not go into that. I'm a ball of fire, says Sergio. Yes, that's how I feel today.
A ball of fire? You're a ball of something.
I think it's the flu jabs we had yesterday.
Yes, we had our flu jabs yesterday. Right. This lady came up and she stuck a big needle in my arm here, but I'm okay. It's fine. It's lovely. Steve's arm hurts a little bit, doesn't it? Oh, it's
the
not.
other one, thankfully.
Other one.
Don't do that. It's a little swollen.
Poor Mr. Steve.
But then, hopefully, the benefits outweigh the pain.
Okay. Well, what I was disappointed with, the lady didn't give me a lollipop. I thought she might give me something afterwards. That's the only reason why I went there.
You're not 6, Mr. Duncan.
Well, no, but I still want my lollipop.
I suppose, yes, it would have been nice to have a cup of tea or something. Sit down. Actually, one thing they didn't tell us to do, which they should have done, because after you go for a flu jab, they're supposed to tell you to sit down and wait for 10 minutes in case you have a nasty reaction. But they didn't tell us to do that yesterday. So we sat in the car just to be on the safe side. Thankfully, we didn't swell up and have any nasty reactions, but we could have done, and they should have told us.
Okay.
So I think I should be feeding that back to my doctor's surgery. I say, lovely, well-organised flu clinic, but you failed to tell me to wait 15 minutes afterwards in case I had an anaphylactic reaction. Positive, keeping positive, keeping positive. What's he drank? No, I haven't drunk anything or drank anything. Later, perhaps. Are we doing the word game today, Mr. Duncan?
You mean the sentence game?
The sentence game. Are we doing that later? Because we know a few people really like that.
I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Just to give me a few moments of contemplation and try and work out what the hell's going on with Mr. Steve today. Here are the Christmas lights outside for those who didn't see it earlier on my first attempt to live stream. So here they are again. The Christmas lights are outside and they are twinkling and making everything lovely and
cheerful.
Well, that was good. Do you want to interrupt me again?
Christmas lights.
Christmas lights. do. There it is, twinkling away. There they are, the lovely Christmas lights. And I did edit that this morning, and you might notice there were some mistakes even in the editing. A couple of things that weren't quite as they should be. Oh, poor Mr. Duncan. Here we are then. Yes, we are all together live on YouTube. Hello there, this is English Addict, although I'm not quite sure what this is anymore.
Well, Moises Martins, sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly, Moises or Mouses Martins, your first time on the live chat.
Hello.
First time on the live chat.
Can I just say that this is normally more organised and more professional, but today lots of technical problems before I started, after I started, but everything seems to have calmed down now, except Mr. Steve.
A round of applause.
I think Mr. Steve might have something wrong with his brain today.
Round of applause from Wowzers Martins.
Wowzers.
I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. So,
or Moises.
Yes.
Congratulations and welcome to the live stream.
Theo wants me to sing I Am What I Am, but we'll show that another time.
Yes.
But we may have something coming up for Christmas
We may.
in terms of singing. So stay tuned to our live streams nearer Christmas, and you might have a nice surprise coming your way.
I've had a few nice surprises today.
Yes. So your lights, Mr. Duncan, you've put them up in the window in my little office upstairs.
Okay.
Where I do my work. But when I go up there sometimes, Mr. Duncan, you've set them onto this flashing mode.
What's work?
Well, actual work that I get paid for to do for my job, as opposed to other work, which I sometimes do up there. But sometimes I go in there and Mr. Duncan changes the settings on the lights.
Well, I like them to flash.
I know.
I like them to flash.
And they're flashing at this rapid rate, and I feel like I'm going to have a seizure.
Yes.
There they are. So I have to turn them down when I go in there onto a calmer setting. Because on the actual device itself, on the lights itself, there's a setting. You can change it to different light patterns.
Yes, there's a little button. So when you press the button, it will flash, and then press it again, it will go slowly. Press it again, it will stay on. Press it again, and it will do all of the different sequences.
Hemad Madeira. That's Hemad Mahira, sorry. Also, their first time on here.
Let's have a look. Hemad.
Hemad Mahira.
Hemad, welcome. It's your first time. Welcome to this. I don't know what we're calling this today. It's normally English Addict, but today we've had all sorts of problems. Mr. Steve is
drawing attention to it.
I think yes, I'm drawing attention to everything today, including your very odd behaviour.
It's all right to let off a bit of steam now and then. If you say you let off steam, it means you just sort of act a bit over the top because you've got getting rid of tension that's inside.
The word I'm looking for is crazy.
Yes, let off a bit of steam, just like you would release steam from a steam engine to get rid of some of the pressure that's inside the...
Where are you going?
Well, you know...
Whatever you do, Steve, please, Steve, I beg you, do not lean on this table in front of you. Because if you lean on this table... Steve keeps leaning forward on the table. Do not lean on this table, because not only the table, but everything in this studio will just fall to the ground. It will smash to pieces. So
did we have a round of applause for Hemad?
Hemad,
also first time.
Welcome.
Oh, it's not for me. Yes, lovely. So what are we doing, Mr. Duncan?
You keep asking that
I
question.
know, because I'm hoping you will answer.
I do answer, and the answer is I have no idea.
You do. We're playing the word game, the sentence game.
Yes.
And if Tomek is here, then we will get lots of correct answers, hopefully. But yes, is that what we're doing, Mr. Duncan?
We will be playing the sentence game shortly, I think. We had some nice pictures, by the way, sent in. We had some lovely photographs sent in. Do you want to see them, Steve?
Yes.
So there is a picture from Maria watching us on her computer. So you can see there is Mr. Steve.
It could be today because we're wearing the same outfits.
Yes, except for the stream in the picture is more entertaining than this one. but there is Maria's photograph, and it looks as if Maria has lots of textbooks in front of her computer.
Right.
Yes. Are you intrigued?
Unit test.
What?
I was just reading what was on the books.
Okay.
Vocabulary, I can see. Yes, English teaching, English books in front. That's very good.
Yes, it's incredible.
A big hello from Morocco says easy to learn.
Okay, then. Anna has sent a lovely picture of her Christmas tree.
Oh.
In the garden with the lights and all
that.
And also there is Anna's cat sitting in the Christmas tree.
That looks wonderful.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Is that a real tree, Anna? I don't suppose it is. I don't suppose it's normally there, but it looks very nice, very pretty.
It might be.
It might be, yes.
Yes, it might be a real tree. It's hard to tell, but the picture of the cat is the same tree, you see. So that does look real to me.
So that's during the daytime.
I think that's a real tree. I'm going to say that is a real tree. And look at this. Oh, Steve, Christina. Christina.
Oh.
What?
Snow.
Lots of snow.
Look at those lovely street lamps.
Isn't that fantastic?
They're very ornate street lamps.
I am a little bit jealous because you have lots of lovely snow at the moment. We have just lots of miserable rain.
Look at that lovely building on the left.
Isn't that
that looks like a very impressive building.
Yes.
Whereabouts is Christina?
I don't know. Well, you can ask the question if you want.
If you're on, Christina, whereabouts are you?
Yes.
We had a little bit of snow in the UK, but I think that must be quite a posh area because look at those street lamps. They look very ornate.
Well, I think there was definitely snow in the north in Scotland, but no snow here yet. It's a little bit too mild. We've had lots of rain. Oh, here's another one, Steve. Joe has sent a picture of us on the TV.
Ooh.
Ooh. Look at that. International celebrities on television. So there we are. I think this is last week. In fact, I think it is last week because I have my brown beard. And then finally, oh, look, there is Valentina watching us as well.
How lovely.
It's nice to see Valentina.
Valentina. Is Valentina on today?
I don't know.
I haven't seen Valentina. Well, she could be on.
It might take you a while to scroll through everything.
Valeria's here.
Okay, then.
I'm looking for anyone whose name begins with V.
That's good.
Are you on, Valentina? Are you on today?
Well,
we'd like to know.
We will see. We will have to ask and find out.
Is anybody on whose picture we just showed on the live stream?
Or is anyone there at all?
Yes, we have 139 people at
good.
least watching us.
Wow, that's brilliant.
In Budapest, no snow. Where is picture? Yes, Christina, says Sandra. We'd like to know if you're on. Where is that picture?
Can I just say that the busy crossroads in Japan, there is a famous crossroads where people have to run across. That, at the moment, has more viewers than us. So it's just a road with people crossing over it. That actually has more viewers than we do. That gives you an idea of just...
Well, they're losing out. They should be watching us.
I might be tuning into it as well.
Hello, Francesca. Hello, saying hello to us. Yes, we all love the snow, Valeria. A little bit of snow cheers you up when you see it coming down. If it hangs around for more than a few days, it becomes annoying because then you can't go out and drive your car. It's cold, it's wet. So yes, I think maybe for a week, snow for a week, but no more than that.
That's it. Well, here's the view outside. So this is outside right now.
Blimey.
So you can see we've had lots of rain and it's a little bit gloomy and miserable outside here. No snow at the moment, although they seem to think that we might have a little bit of snow around Christmas. Ooh, fancy pants.
Easy to Learn says, how old am I? Well, you never ask a lady how old they are.
Or she is.
Never ask a girl her age.
Okay.
Is my answer to that.
Do you want to say it again?
No. Hello from Poland.
Hello,
Says
Poland.
Beata. Hello.
Is there an echo?
Yes, somebody said that they just passed the IELTS score 6. Is that good, Mr. Duncan?
That's very good, actually. Yes, you are up there with in the top or near the top.
Healthy, wealthy. Also learning German. You're in Austria and you're learning German. Is this okay to continue learning English at the same time?
Of course, yes. If you can do it, if it doesn't cause you too much stress, then yes, carry on doing it. Yes, it can cause confusion if you are trying to learn 2 languages at the same time, but if you can do it, if your brain is able to cope, then my advice is to carry on doing it, as long as it doesn't get you in too much difficulty.
Yes, Palmyra, a couple of years ago we did have, well remembered, Palmyra remembers we had very bad snow 2 years ago. We've got a third new member.
Okay, then.
We've got Arif Iman. Arif Iman. Also a new member watching today.
Hello, Arif. I am a new member of this channel. Well, all I can say is we need lots of new members. We do.
You're very welcome. That's at least 3 today.
I feel like I'm on the Titanic, and we've just hit the iceberg.
I've never heard of that. Yes, but we're moving through. We haven't sunk yet, Mr. Duncan.
No.
The compartments are filling up with water, but we're still afloat.
There's lots of people drowning in the lower decks.
I've never heard of that word. Cynosure? Don't know that word. Nisar?
Well, it's probably a specialist word in a specialist field. Cynosure. Or cynosure. I've never seen that word before.
No.
So it might be a word that is specialist, you see, a specialist field or a specialist area.
Maybe you could look it up for us and tell us.
People do that sometimes, you see. They put unusual, strange words on there because they want to hear me say, I don't know what it means. So it's great, really. It's kind of saying, come on, let's make Mr. Duncan look stupid.
Mr. Duncan, don't be so cynical.
No, I'm not being cynical. It's true.
Have you ever thought of visiting Morocco? Says Easy to Learn. Yes, we have, and we'd like to one day.
I have thought about it.
Yes. Suman Singh is also new on this channel.
Okay, then.
We've got a lot of new members today. They're all coming out of the woodwork.
Yes.
If you say you're coming out of the woodwork, it means you were hidden and now you're becoming visible.
That's interesting, Steve, because today's live stream, well, part of it, we are going to play the sentence game, and today we're talking all about trees, you see. So words connected to trees.
Interesting.
Yes, because Christmas is coming, you see, and, well, quite often people will put Christmas trees up around where they live or in their house, you see. So that's what we're doing a little bit later on today. Talking of Christmas, Steve, I think it would be nice to take a look at one of my lessons that I made a few years ago where I talked all about Christmas and the things that happen during that time. What do you think?
Yes, that would be very good.
What's up?
No, nothing. Nothing at all, Mr. Duncan. Carry on with what you were saying.
Oh, I see. Cynosure means the centre of attraction, like Mr. Steve. I'm not sure if attraction is the word that I would be using.
Thank you anyway.
Yes. So here it is. Here is one of my lessons all about Christmas. For those wondering, what the hell is Christmas, Mr. Duncan? We don't know what it's about. Well, maybe this video, this short video, will give you some information. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. In today's lesson, we will take a look at a festival that comes once a year. It is a time when many people get together to enjoy each other's company. It is a magical time for all, but especially for children and the young at heart. In this lesson, we will share the experience of Christmas time. The festival of Christmas is a religious one. In fact, most of the holidays that exist around the world are based on the observance and following of one religious ceremony or another. The word holiday itself derives from the Old English word meaning holy day. Christmas is part of the Christian religion. The Christmas festival celebrates the birth of the Christian Messiah or Saviour. The Christmas celebrations have changed considerably over the years, with new ceremonies and celebrations being added as the years have gone by. Christmas time is a fun season for children of all ages, because this is the time when Santa Claus comes to visit. He is a jolly gift giver who every Christmas Eve travels all the way from the North Pole on a magic sleigh pulled by flying reindeer to drop off presents for all the good boys and girls around the world. Not forgetting those big boys and girls as well. Santa Claus is also known by the name Father Christmas. He is a good-humoured fellow dressed all in red, with a big white beard and a jolly laugh. Ho, ho, ho! So, if you have been good this year, perhaps Santa Claus will come to drop a present down your chimney. If there is one thing that Christmas is well known for, besides Santa and snow, it must be the music that is played during this time. For some reason, people love to sing during momentous occasions and festivals. Birthdays, weddings, even funerals. There is always a song to go with an occasion, and Christmas is no exception. A song that has been written for Christmas can be called a carol, a Christmas carol. The word carol is another word for song or chant. Christmas carols usually have a religious theme. They can also be called hymns. A hymn is any song with a religious theme that is sung in church. You could describe it as a prayer set to music. If you are a regular viewer of my lessons, then you will know that I love food, and Christmas time is one of those periods when food becomes quite a feature. We often see taking a meal as a good way of socialising. You can eat together with one person or many people. From a cosy romantic dinner for two, right up to a huge party for many. You can eat formally at a table. You can eat informally from a selection of food that has been placed out. This is called a buffet. Formal dining normally means that you are seated at a table and the food is served to you by the host or by a waiter if you are eating in a restaurant. Eating is important for survival, but it also serves as a great way of bringing people together. The type of food eaten at Christmas is very specific. The main meal is meat and vegetables. The traditional meat eaten is turkey. A turkey is a very large bird, so it is perfect for feeding a group of people. The turkey is normally roasted in an oven. It is covered with oil or fat so as to help it cook. You baste the turkey. This stops the meat from drying out. As the turkey cooks, you must check that it is not drying out. You can use the natural juices from the meat to pour over the turkey while it cooks. If you undercook, it will be raw and not safe to eat. If you cook it too much, it will become dry and the meat will be tough, and that is the last thing you want, as nobody likes a tough, rubbery turkey. You can also put a paste made from seasoned breadcrumbs and herbs inside the turkey before cooking it. This is called stuffing. After the main meal, there is normally a sweet or dessert served. The Christmas pudding is what is traditionally served. The Christmas pudding is a rich, nutty, fruity food flavoured with spices and alcohol. There are different varieties of Christmas pudding. Then there is the mince pie. These are normally small individual pies filled with mincemeat, although it is not actually meat. The sticky filling is made from dried fruit and seasoned with spices, lemon juice and alcohol. Not everyone likes these types of dessert, including me. Here in the UK, many people will sit down after lunch to watch Queen Elizabeth give her annual speech to this country and the Commonwealth nations around the world. This happens on every Christmas Day at 3 p.m. Of course, these days you can watch the Queen's speech on YouTube at any time. There are many fun traditions that go with Christmas. One of them is kissing under the mistletoe. Mistletoe is a type of parasitic plant. It normally lives off the water and nutrients of trees. A parasitic thing is something that attaches itself to another thing for survival. It is called a parasite. One thing lives off another thing. There are certain types of parasitic insect too. A tick is a type of insect that lives off the blood of an animal, such as a dog or a sheep. We can describe a person as a parasite if they use others to get what they want, such as money or favours. The act of kissing under the mistletoe started off around the 16th century in England. Before that, mistletoe was seen as a symbol of male fertility. The real origin of the kissing ritual is unclear, as there are a few possible explanations. However, nowadays it is common for people to steal a kiss at Christmas with a stem of mistletoe hanging above them. Look, I have a piece of mistletoe here. Would you like a kiss? Maybe instead of a special hello, I could send out a special Christmas kiss under my big piece of mistletoe. This is a Christmas cracker. It is a novelty item that helps to create a festive atmosphere. You normally pull a cracker with another person. Inside the cracker there is a small prize and a party hat. Also contained in the cracker is a joke. More often than not, these jokes are very old and corny. A corny joke is obvious and predictable, but we all still laugh along. After all, it is Christmas. It is normal for gifts to be exchanged on Christmas Day. Quite often the presents are placed under the Christmas tree, which is of course where Santa Claus leaves his too. The gifts are normally opened in the morning, but of course they can be opened later as the Christmas guests arrive. It would be fair to say that the way in which Christmas is viewed and observed has changed a lot over the years. Some people feel that the religious element has almost disappeared. For young people, Christmas is about parties and presents. For the older generation, the religious theme is still important. Many people usually attend late-night church services just before Christmas Day arrives. These days, people have a choice as to how they celebrate Christmas. There is the traditional way and the modern way, or in some cases, both. What is interesting about modern Christmas is that even those who do not follow any particular religion, such as myself, still get involved with the festivities. I would not class myself as a religious person. However, I still enjoy the atmosphere that Christmas brings with it. The colour, the joy, the food, and of course the chance to share time with those you care about. I hope you have enjoyed this festive lesson, and I wish you well wherever you are in the world. This is Mr. Duncan in England saying Happy Holidays to you. I couldn't resist showing that because a lot of people ask, Mr. Duncan, what is Christmas? Please tell us. So there is an excerpt from one of my lessons that I made, I think around about 5 years ago now, which is probably the reason why I look so young. Oh, Steve, I've just had a delicious biscuit.
Healthy. Yes, Mr. Duncan always does this. Every week, every Sunday, he has nothing to eat. And then halfway through the live stream, he feels ill because he's had nothing to eat and then goes and munches on unhealthy biscuits.
Look at that. Chocolate digestive biscuits.
Yeah. Full of vitamins.
Well,
Belarusia hopes that we get snow this Christmas because she knows how much you like snow.
Yes.
Yovan says, been watching for 12 years and thinks you're wonderful and doesn't always manage to get onto the live streams but always watches it afterwards. So thank you for that lovely comment.
Thank you for sticking with us.
Yes. A kiss under a mistletoe is the best way to exchange a parasite at Christmas, says Sergio.
That is true. You can exchange lots of things.
Yes.
At Christmas.
You can catch all sorts of diseases off people by kissing them under the mistletoe.
Yes.
I think that's what Sergio meant by that comment.
Yes, I don't recommend that you do it this year, but social distancing and all of that, you see. So even though I was kissing under the mistletoe in the video, please don't do it now. We have to keep our social distance. So maybe you can send a kiss. You can send it. Blow the kiss. Does that sound good?
Yes. I won't say no to a kiss from anyone.
So I've heard.
Yes. Right, so what are we doing next, Mr. Duncan?
We are going to play the sentence game because I think a lot of people are waiting to play the sentence game. We are looking at words and maybe phrases as well connected to trees, because a lot of people are now putting up their Christmas trees, you see. You see how that works? It's very clever. It's almost as if I sat down and thought about it. So here it comes then, today's sentence game for those who can't wait to play along. Here we go then, the sentence game is back on. Oh, fancy pants. So the sentence game, very easy. All you have to do is give me the missing words. I will show you a sentence and there will be some words in that sentence, but some of them will also be missing. They will not be there. So that is basically it. The sentence game today, tree words. Trees.
Tomek's poised.
Oh, Tomek is here.
Yes, he's revealed himself. When you said sentence game,
Ah,
Tomek came out of hiding.
I see. So Tomek has come out from his hiding place. He is ready. So here we go then.
But we're not really going to play it just yet, though, are we, to everybody? Hiding this from Tomek. We're not really playing the sentence game. We're not really playing it yet, so just go away for 5 minutes.
This is not the live stream. This is just the wallpaper in your house. So here we go then. Are you ready to play the sentence game? Here's the first one, and as we play, you will find out what the rules and also the way the game is played actually is. Here we go then. Here's the first sentence game for today.
Straight in with a 4-word sentence game.
Yes, they all have lots of words today.
Oh, right,
Lots
okay.
of words missing.
And it's to do with trees.
Everything is to do with trees in some way. We are something to something out, and something are something. You see. So this is related to trees. Oh, I wish I hadn't eaten all those biscuits.
Yeah, you'll have a sugar rush in a minute, Mr. Duncan.
No, I've got lots of air in my stomach. I feel like I want to have a big burp.
While Mr. Duncan was showing the Christmas video, he ate 3 chocolate biscuits.
3? It wasn't 3, it was 4. I had 4 of these biscuits. They are delicious. I'm sure other people like these as well, but they are delicious. Chocolate digestive biscuits. Ooh.
Nisa says, fancy pants. You use the word fancy pants. It's fancy pants, P-A-N-T-S.
Fancy pants, something that is...
What does it mean?
Well, something that is luxurious or special. Something that is maybe exclusive. Maybe something that it looks very stylish. Fancy pants, you see? Fancy pants. So when I say fancy pants, I'm just saying the thing that I've mentioned or the thing that I've just talked about is special, extra special. Ooh.
It probably refers to pants, which is the American word for trousers.
Yes.
So if you're wearing some very attractive clothes,
Yes.
somebody might go, ooh, look at you, fancy pants.
Fancy
it just
pants.
means that you've dressed up smartly.
That's it.
And other people weren't expecting you to be. So you might turn up to work very smartly dressed when
Yes.
normally you don't, or other people aren't, and someone might go, ooh, look at you, fancy pants. Have you got a date?
Yes. So something extravagant, something nice, something that is exciting maybe. Oh, fancy pants. Oh, it's very eye-catching. Oh, fancy pants.
Right, so there we go. We've answered that one.
Yeah.
Tomek says he was here all the time. We know you were. We were just joking.
He was hiding.
Right. So far, nothing. Well, we've got some words.
I wonder what would happen if we just stopped talking for about 5 minutes. If we just stood here, Steve, and just said nothing.
well, very clever people watching us, they would carry on talking to each other.
I think so.
And they wouldn't even notice.
Maybe we could do that next week. Maybe we just say nothing for the whole live stream.
Come on, let's get the first word. If you get the first word, it's going to make it easier.
Yes.
To get the rest of it.
Yes.
Has anybody got the first word yet, Mr. Duncan? Can you see that?
I can't see anyone having the first word yet.
Okay. We are something beginning with P, 8 letters,
Yes.
to B beginning with, 6 letters beginning with B. Third word begins with E, 6 letters. Fourth word, 8 letters, begins with B.
Yes.
And it's to do with trees.
So tree words, it is, the subject isn't to do with trees, but maybe the words contained in there might be.
Tomek's giving up. Don't give up, Tomek.
Wow. So last week people said it was too easy. Then the week before, people said it was too hard. So I think this week I will get complaints about it being too hard again.
Well, is that the correct word for the first one?
Sansani, yes, you have one of the words correct. So one of the words
Which one?
Is correct, the first word.
Right.
Yes, so that word, yes, you are right. So that word is correct, as they say.
So it's planning is the first word.
We are planning to what? And one of the words is connected directly with a tree.
Francesca again.
Ah, yes, Francesca. Yes, you are on the right line. Yes. Very good. I like it. I like your way of thinking. Very good.
There we go. So the second word
is connected to trees. And yes, that's very good.
Francesca, you've got the second word correct. The first word is planning. Yes, it is.
We are planning to something out.
And Francesca has got the second word correct.
Shall we do the rest of the live stream in mime?
We are planning to, yes, Fidan and Francesca, branch out and something.
So think about what you might expand or grow, something that a person might try to make larger. So you start off small, but then you get larger and larger. So what thing might you make larger or expand?
If you branch out, it means you go off to do different things.
Yes, you branch out.
Just like a tree with a branch, and then another one comes off it, and another one comes off that one.
Yes. So imagine a tree growing. What else can grow? There is another thing that can grow. You are nearly right. Yes. Yes, Mora. Mora, you are almost right. You are almost right. But there is one word that is different. One word.
But that would fit there, wouldn't it?
But that's very good. Yes, it's very good, but it's not what I'm looking for. But yes, you are very close. One of the words is not right, but you are...
But it fits.
Very,
Does it fit?
very close.
Yes. Yes, Fernando. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well done.
We're getting towards the answer now.
Well done. But Maura, you have come closest.
Yes, with that one.
But I think that fits anyway.
So what I do like is everyone together is slowly getting the answer.
Yes.
You see, people are working almost like a team as it were. Yes, I think so. So we will have a look at the answer. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to have Mr. Steve having a poop or my cockerel popping up. So which would you like, Steve?
Neither.
Neither? Well, you can't have neither. You can have one or the other.
Well, the quickest one is the cockerel, so let's have that.
Okay, then, Mr. Cockerel, where are you?
And the answer is, Mr. Duncan?
The answer is Mr. Steve. Bing! Yes, we are planning to branch out. You see, you branch out. So if you branch out, it means you expand or grow something. You go off and do other things whilst maintaining perhaps your business. So your business is expanding. You move into new areas with your business, so it will grow, it will expand. You branch out. Branch.
Maura was very... Well, I think you could replace that with the word extend.
So you
can extend your business into new areas.
Yes, I think extend.
So I think Maura has got it right.
Yes, that's it. So extend or expand, grow something to make something larger or longer. You extend or expand. You grow your business. We are planning to branch out and expand our business. So I thought that was a good one.
Francesca got it all there, yes. So yes, well done to everybody, but yes.
Yes.
That was quite a difficult one.
Yes. Well, that's the whole point. There's no point doing it if it's easy, to be honest. What's the point? There's no point.
Enlarge. Yes, you could have had enlarge, but that's 7 letters, not 6.
Okay, then. Let's move on to the next one, Steve.
Okay.
Because I don't know about you, but, you know, today's been very stressful.
Keep going.
Very stressful. You know, I'm almost ready for a lie down. A tea cake, a cup of tea, and an episode of Columbo.
That will calm your nerves, Mr. Duncan.
Perfect.
As long as it's not an episode that's been repeated recently.
Yes. Anyway, I hope it's a William Shatner episode. Here we go then. So
round of applause for Maura. Yes. I love this game, says Francesca.
A round of applause, wait there.
And that was Tomek saying that, so Tomek's very generous as ever.
Wait there, Steve. There we go.
Thank you, Tomek, for suggesting that.
No, it's messed up my thing.
Right.
Okay.
Let's say it out loud, will you? There we go. So 4 words again. Our something will have to something out the something something.
Yes, our something will have to something out the something something connected to trees. Think of maybe a tree that... Oh no, I'm not going to say that because that will give you a big clue. No, I'm not going to say that. No, you have to work it out for yourselves with no clues.
These are difficult, Mr. Duncan. So 3 words, but it doesn't necessarily... Well, it obviously doesn't have the word tree in it.
No, it's not going to have tree. That would make it too easy. There is a tree in my garden. Look at that tree over there.
Our something will have to something.
So very similar to the last one. Very similar to the last one in some ways. So it's a similar sort of area, if that makes sense. Our something will have to something out the something something.
Well, is that Belarusia on the right tracks there?
Yes, Belarusia. Belarusia. You are in the right area there.
And what about there as well?
Yes, pretty good. Pretty good.
Belarusia, you're on fire today.
Yes. Valentin is near with one of the words. Yes.
I know what it is now.
Steve knows what it is.
I know what it is now.
The reason why Steve knows is because his boss has said it many times to Steve.
About other people in the company.
No, about Steve.
Yes, there we go. So Belarusia has given us lots of very good clues.
Some good clues there. So
yes.
we are, yes. Or something will have to something out the something. So maybe if you are, I don't know, if you are wanting to get rid of something or remove something that is no good or useless, something that you've been waiting to get rid of and dispose of for quite a while, you might want to do something.
It's a phrase that people use when a business has...
Yes, I was hoping you wouldn't use too many words there. It's all right, Steve. Giving too many clues, you see.
When you're gardening...
that's a good one. Gardening.
When you're gardening and you look at a bush or a tree...
Okay.
And you say, well, that doesn't look very healthy.
Okay.
That tree...
Okay.
might have to do a bit of pruning because there are certain parts of the tree that are sick.
Or no longer alive.
And you can use that phrase to describe a process.
By the way, Steve, Sergio's got it right.
In business, when you want to get rid of things. People that you think are useless and no good anymore. And yes.
What?
Let's just say that Sergio is doing very well.
Sergio's doing well today.
So Belarus. Sorry, who got the first? Was it
Tomek is very quiet.
So Belarusia started it all off, and yes, well there we go, Tomek. Yes, but Sergio got the last two words.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he got all of it. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Sergio got all of it. So,
yes, I think Sergio's got it 100% correct. So, Mr. Cockerell, please come and show us your lovely your lovely feathers.
That's a very good one, Mr. Duncan.
In your big proud beak. Yes, I thought that was a very good one. It's a good expression. It's an expression that's often used when you want to get rid of something that is useless, no longer needed, not fit for the job, something that, I don't know, is old and worn out, something that's no longer needed.
I've got a mirror here, Mr. Duncan, a mirror.
Okay, then.
Yes, so there we go. Yes, correct. Well done, Belarusia and Sergio, and Tomek got it right. A lot of people have got it right.
Yeah, here's the answer coming up right now. Ding!
Yes.
Our company will have to cut out the dead wood. So in this particular sentence, we are talking about maybe people who are working for your company who are useless, or they are not doing their job very well. So you cut out the dead wood. You get rid, you remove, you sack the people that are useless.
It's a phrase that's very commonly used in the UK. I've heard it used many times. Thankfully, I've never been seen as dead wood.
No.
But yes, sometimes companies go through what happens is that lots of people start working for a company, and after a while they probably lose their enthusiasm for the job, but they stay on anyway because they probably should have moved on to another company years ago. But they work inefficiently, they're still taking a wage, they're not achieving very much. And of course, in a competitive world, competitive environment, there's no point in paying people for a job if they're not really performing, because then you won't be competitive.
Yes.
It doesn't matter so much in the public sector, but in the private sector it's quite important that you're efficient. It's cruel, but that's just the way of life.
Yes. Especially if people work for a company for many years, it is possible for them to become lazy in their job. So I think that can happen, especially if you have employees, people working for you who don't work as hard as they should because they've been with the company for many years. So,
and they're bored of the job, and
That's
they're just waiting for retirement or something like that. But yes, it's just as if you would go into the garden and you would see a tree that had got dead wood, literally dead wood. You'd cut that out because that would regenerate the tree. It wouldn't be holding the tree back.
So you're cutting out the dead wood, the things that are no longer alive or useful,
because they're holding everything back.
Anyway, here's another one. I think we've got time for 2 more, and then we are going.
I'm getting hungry now, Mr. Duncan. I'm thinking of, all I can smell is chocolate biscuits, but I'm going to resist because I need to think of my figure and my health.
Okay, then.
I need to remain looking beautiful.
I think it might
live streams.
I think it might be too late for both of those things, but there you go.
Yes.
Here we go, Steve.
Lots of people haven't heard that phrase before.
Oh, okay then.
Yes. Yeah, but you can say that if you start. Yeah, anyway, we've said enough. Right, on to the next.
If you want to know what it means, just rewind slightly. Here we go then. Here's the next one, Steve. Oh, he something all his something in his something. Ah. Interesting, very intriguing.
So somewhere in there is a word connected to trees.
Yes. Very similar to the last one, in fact. So there's a little clue. So it might be similar to the last one, but not exactly the same. It's not the same, but it might be similar.
Ah, right.
He's something all his something in his something. So you might talk about something that has been maybe recorded, especially when you write things maybe in a certain place, you see? Lewis has to go. Lewis Mendez. See you later, Lewis. See you later, Lewis.
Bye, Lewis. See you next time. And thanks for being here. Skeptic mind. Ah. What do you think, Mr. Duncan?
That's quite good, actually, because that is connected to trees, because leaves. He leaves. That's quite clever, actually. I like your way of thinking. That is pretty good.
But is it right?
No.
Okay.
But it's good, though. You're getting the idea now, you see, of the game, you see. So connected to trees. He leaves. Sadly, that is not the correct word that I'm looking for, even though it does fit. I think that is 6 letters as well. Youssef also says leaves. It is not leaves. Something else connected with trees. Think of the material that a tree is made of. Oh. And then you have your clue to the answer.
I don't get that, Mr. Duncan.
Really?
How is that helping me?
Well, it might not be
The tree's
helping.
made of wood.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. But think about if you want to.
What do you think of Tomek's suggestion?
You see, Tomek is a bright button. Is a very bright button. I think so. He's a smart cookie.
So Tomek could be right then, could he? Right so. And the last word. Yes.
Tomek. I see, yes. Valentin says listed Oriental coins diary. Yes, you've got one of the words right there, Valentin. One of them is correct. Anikl. Hello, Anikl Anik. He loses all of his something.
Well, I think we know the first word and the last word.
Yes. So the first word that is missing, I think we know.
Let's just say Tomek has given us the first and last words correctly.
Yes. So think about something that you might do every day, or something that you do with another person if you need to contact them. You see, there's another clue. So you might write down the things that you've done. It is something that you do to get in touch with another person. Yes. So, maybe you have to do a certain thing to get in touch with another person.
Phone them. That doesn't fit.
But you're not far off though, Steve. You're very close there.
Really?
Yes. Even Mr. Steve is playing now. Did you get excited there? He something all his something in his something.
Oh.
So think about an active thing that you're doing to get in touch with someone. You want to talk to someone. You want to talk to someone. What do you do? Beep, bop, bop, beep, boop, beep, bop, beep, bop, boop.
I just can't get it, Mr. Duncan. He logged. Oh, well, we know that's right.
Yes, we know logged.
All his something or other. Come on,
Yes.
Tomek. Sure.
All his what? So you want to talk to different people. So you will beep, 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 beep. And waiting for them to answer. So what is that? The thing I'm doing is what? It's a
phone call.
It's not coming in. So what is it?
Going out.
Okay then.
Just no idea, Mr. Duncan.
Wow. It's not easy, is it? It's not easy.
So you're doing something. You're trying to contact somebody.
Yes, but think about what I'm doing.
You're on the phone.
Think of
yes.
the direction of what I'm doing. So I'm beep beep boop boop beep boop 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 beep beep.
It's not helping, Mr. Duncan.
I know. I just like making that noise because it sounds good.
Anyone got it yet?
No.
All right.
But we're getting nearer. Yes. Oh, Tomek is getting there, you see. But he's got the wrong word. He's got he's got one of the words wrong. So you are almost 100%. Almost 100%.
I can't understand why you'd want to do that anyway.
Yes. Well,
okay.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you make a note of something, of when you do a certain thing. He something all his something in his something. We are almost there. Almost.
Just one word out.
Yes, just one word. Here we go. Miura. Yes.
Ah.
Yes. Miura. Well done. Well done. Pretty good.
Tomek gave us the clue.
That's it.
That led to that. So, yep.
So once again, we were all working together.
Working together.
Even Steve was doing it.
I didn't come up with the answer, though.
No, sadly not. Here we go. Here is the answer, though. Mr. Cockerel. And the answer. Bing! He logged. You see. He logged all his outgoing calls in his diary. So when he called someone, he would write down the time that he did it. So when you log something, it means you make a recording. You write something down, normally concerning a certain action, something that you've done. You make a record of it. You write it down, normally in some sort of book, maybe your diary. So you log all your outgoing calls in your diary. He logged all his outgoing calls in his diary. he made a record of when he phoned people. Or
A record. A log is a record, isn't
yes.
it?
So when you make a log of something, yes, that's what I just said.
A record.
A record. It is a written record. Quite often we use the word log to show a recording, something that has been stored, some information about something that has just happened or has happened. Another thing, of course, is when you sign into your computer, you log in or you log on. So log can also mean sign. You sign in. Maybe you sign into your computer or you sign in your password to a certain website. You see?
So there's a recording of when you went onto the internet. A log. There will be a log. So if you're performing a task that requires lots of different steps, you might want to keep a record of when you did certain things.
Yes.
And another word for that is you keep a log. Say you're working in a laboratory, for example, and you're doing a series of experiments, you might want to write down exactly what you did and the time you did it so that you can look back and say, oh, yes, I did that then, I did that then. You've got a record, a log.
Yes. So you make a record, a permanent record as well, something that can't be removed or erased, is logged information that is recorded quite often permanently for future reference. And we have one more before we go, Steve. And then
One
One
more.
more sentence game. We are picking your brains. Here we go. His something is something than his something. So again, connected to trees. Think of a tree. I think this one's easy. So I thought I would end with an easy one because I'm in a very generous mood, even though I'm completely stressed out today.
So this is just a case of who is quickest with their typing fingers.
Yes. So we will give you a few moments because there is a delay. So don't worry, I will allow you all to have a chance to type your answers. His something is something than his something. It's a well-known expression and it also is connected to trees as well, you see, in a certain way. There is a word that sounds like it might be connected.
It's all over, Mr. Duncan, it's all over.
Oh, okay then. That was quick.
Guess who has correctly...
It wouldn't be Tomek. Would it be Tomek?
I couldn't possibly say.
It is. Well done, Tomek. You've got it right. Yes. Well, that was quick.
Ooh, thank you for that, because it means we can end quickly and go off and have our cup of tea and tea cake.
I was really hoping...
Thank you.
You know, Steve, I was really hoping that Tomek would just give us the answer very quickly so we could go.
Yes.
That's very nice. So here's the answer. So fast was that. Thank you, Tomek. And the answer is, if I can find the right button... Time's up, by the way. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
His bark is worse than his bite.
His bark is worse than his bite.
You're right, it's an idiom,
It is.
Alessandra.
It is an expression we use quite often to say a person might seem like, I don't know, a dangerous person or a harmful person, but really they're not. They just talk, but they don't actually do anything. His bark is worse than his...
Yeah, somebody who might shout a lot. And you might be afraid of them because they might swear a lot, they might shout.
Or be aggressive.
Well, they're saying his bark, so it's what he's saying. What a person is saying is worse than the actions he might actually take.
Yes.
So just because somebody shouts and says, don't you, shouts a lot,
Ooh, okay.
it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to actually inflict any physical harm. Yes, a bark. So it refers to a dog barks, which is very loud and sounds scary. And dogs will usually bite you. But if a person shouts a lot, but then doesn't follow it up with any dangerous physical actions,
Okay.
so they don't actually physically hurt you, then you can say their bark is worse than their bite.
So when we say bark, it can mean the surface of a tree as well. You see the hard surface of a tree. But also it can be the sound that a dog makes.
See, that sounds like his bite is as worse as his bark.
That
sounds like
as worse.
Yes, yeah. That dog barking there. It
It's
sounds
as
like
worse.
his bite is as bad as his bark.
That's it. Not as worse.
As bad as his bark. Yeah. So we all know people like that. They shout a lot, but then if you were to challenge them, then they might back down and not actually follow it up with anything physically.
So they talk, they say things, but they don't do nothing. They do nothing at all.
Yes, Sudhika, the tree connection there is the word bark, which is the outer covering of a tree, the bark on a tree. Lovely. So, Mr. Duncan, I will go to the kitchen and make a cup of tea and a tea cake.
Yes, we've had a lot of problems today with the live stream. I don't know what happened earlier, but there was quite a big problem with the internet connection. Something happened, I don't know what, but it's not our fault. I'm pretty sure it's not our fault. That's what I'm saying anyway. It's not our fault. I think it's YouTube's fault.
Yes, sometimes people say that at work about the boss. You might have a boss at work who shouts a lot, always barking orders and saying things like that. And you might be new, and you might say to somebody, "Oh, I'm a bit worried about him. I might get the sack if I do something wrong." And then somebody will say to you, "Oh, don't worry. His bark is worse than his bite." So in other words, you probably won't get the sack. Anyway, lovely to see you all. And I'll see you in a few minutes. And I will look forward to seeing you all again next week. Bye-bye.
Next Sunday, Mr. Steve will be back. Don't worry.
Bye.
And he has gone. And I will also go as well. It is time to say goodbye. It has been a very chaotic day today, I must be honest. We had problems before the live stream started. We had problems during the live stream. But we made it eventually. Thank you very much for your company. I'm going now as well. I will leave you with my little video of me playing on my swing and also playing in the snow. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. It was slightly chaotic. It was a little bit chaotic in places, but we made it. We made it through to the end. We persevered and we made it through the storm. And of course, until the next time we meet here on YouTube, which may be Wednesday, but it will definitely be next Sunday as well. You know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.
I'm a big boy now.